Oh, so many things. Um, I think the fact that we can use our lived experience um, and have and forge a really strong connection with our clients on that level, but also be able to help them implement their treatment goals. I think that's incredible. Like what a gift for us as coaches. If we have lived experience, I'm not saying that everyone does, but to be able to forge that bond for me is really invaluable. And I guess what makes it unique that we get to do things that other people um, don't do, like grocery shopping, cooking, you know, assisting our clients in other areas that um, make recovery kind of seem fun in a way. Um, yeah, I think that that's incredibly unique, and doing something innovative like this is very innovative, and we have the opportunity to really change the narrative with lived experience um, and peer work and to create opportunities for other people. I mean, I have a few clients that are really inspired to recover because they want to become a coach. Like, how cool is that? You know, like what a great motivation that we're building a new pathway for people um, to want to recover and use their experience as a career. You know, like how great. Let's keep passing on that healing. Um, yeah.
Some of the things I do that make my work as a coach unique. I think I'm very down to earth. I'm living in New Zealand now, and a lot of my clients are in America. So I start work at 6 a.m., sometimes 7 in New Zealand. So I am unashamedly in bed. I wake up at 4 minutes to, and my laptop's right beside my bed, and I sit myself up and I bounce straight into it. And some people would say that's unprofessional, and in a sense, maybe it is. And they're probably not going to be the kind of clients that are right for me because I am super casual. I've done sessions. Sometimes I've done sessions in the car because it's like, I can't fit you in, but I'm driving from here to here. And I can pull over on the side of the road and we can do a session. So I think one of the things I do is that I'm pretty versatile in how I deliver sessions, because I really feel like it's not so much about where I am, but the fact that I can be present with the client, and whether I'm in bed or in my car, I'm willing to show up and be present. And I feel like people appreciate that, because I'll be doing sessions with people and they appreciate, hey, it's 6 o'clock in the morning for you. I don't think that kind of presentation is for everyone, but I think it just speaks to who I am as a person. I am who I am. What else do I do that's unique? I think I'll bring people in, and I'll be a little bit spontaneous. So I was running a group the other day, and this client was like, oh, well, I've been struggling with restriction. And I was like, okay, so what have you done today? And she's like, well, I haven't eaten anything. And I was like, cool. So before you can continue in group, you need to go and grab yourself food and come back. And she was like, oh, I don't like eating in front of people. I was like, great, I'm going to go grab myself some cookies and milk. We'll meet back here in 3 minutes. And so I think I am a little bit, I don't know if abrasive is the right word, but I am a little bit directive, and I am a little bit unwilling to let the eating disorder have a loud voice. It wouldn't feel right to me for someone to say, hey, I haven't eaten yet today, but to kind of ignore that and continue in group. And obviously you've got to pick your client, because if it was the first time I'd ever met her, it probably wouldn't go so well. But I think, that's something that I do that's unique. I think I do spend more time on, I guess, say emails or updating family members than other coaches might. That's something I always have to learn to rein myself in. But I do truly care. I think hands down, the other thing I do that's unique is live-ins. I love live-ins. I came up with this idea when I was in treatment. I was like, how come people get sober coaches? I'm like, I wish they had that for eating disorders. And then once I recovered, I was like, I want to start doing live-ins for people. and absolutely unique. Absolutely, it's exhausting but exhilarating at the same time. Like I find, like when I go to bed at night and I'm in a live-in, my head's like thinking of about 1,000 things. But I had a client that I've been working with for about a year, and then I went to do a live-in with her. And at the end of the first week, she said, "Christy, I've gotten more out of 1 week with you than a whole year of doing coaching." And she's like, not that the year sucked. She's just like, having someone to hold me accountable in my home as opposed to in treatment was very, very different for her. Live-ins are hard. Live-ins are a lot because essentially you're asked to play 1,000 different roles sometimes. Like if there's little kids involved, or there's husbands, or there's sisters, or there's parents, like it's a lot of dynamics to manage. But there's so much growth in there that I think everyone should experience a live-in, just to be able to see the wider picture, I think, of understanding how eating disorders play out in people's lives in a really unique way. Because I think I knew how my eating disorder played out for me in my life, but I've never been a mom. I haven't had 6 kids. I'm not married. I haven't had family members that are like, looking over my shoulder and sort of actually live somebody else's life and be like, oh, now I get why breakfast is so hard for you, because you've got 6 screaming kids. Like, I get that that's hard. But when I was living there, I was like, whoa, this is hard. Okay. Like, how do we do this? It just adds a whole new dimension.
Definitely the most unique thing about being a coach is being able to be side by side in the moment with clients, especially if you go into their home or you share the meal with them or a grocery store. They're being really, really vulnerable. And for you to be their partner and be honored enough to witness what they're going through in their struggle and help them out, that's the beauty of coaching. And I think that's the uniqueness of what a coach can bring to the table for someone, is that in the moment support, doing day-to-day activities to keep them strong in their recovery and help them implement the tools that they're learning in therapy and the education they're learning from their dietitian.
What are some things that you do that you think make your work as a coach unique? So I am a trans man and non-binary person. So I gear my work towards transgender and gender non-conforming folks. I know of 2 other trans recovery coaches, neither of which are CCI coaches. So not a lot of us out there. But I think there's something really, really powerful about having not only, the lived experience of going through an eating disorder and being recovered, but also being a trans person and going through that. So like understanding that, it's not as like, with most folks with eating disorders, using the eating disorder as a means of coping. And so coping with discrimination and oppression, and also understanding like trying to change one's body to reflect societal standards of gender. Having those types of insights can be really powerful for clients. Another thing that I bring into my coaching, which I have a background in body work as a licensed massage therapist, that I noticed that I've started to do a lot more, is bringing somatics into my work, which a lot of people like that. A lot of people don't like that. Just in terms of like clients are like, dude, I do not want to sit with my body any more than I already am. So sometimes they're like, yeah, I that's not something that I'm interested in, but it seems pretty rare. It seems like a lot of the folks that I work with kind of want that opportunity to understand what their body is trying to tell them, and taking a lot of it out of the head and into the body. So I think that a really good way to apply that, which is talked about in the 8 keys and like the feeling your feelings, is like tuning into, what sensations are happening in my body. When I walk into the kitchen, when I sit down to eat my food, like what starts happening for me in my body. And like going through, okay, like these are the sensations that I'm noticing. I'm getting sweaty. There's a knot in my stomach. And so sometimes we'll do that in meal sessions too. At the beginning, we'll kind of tune into what's happening in the body and sometimes like just, focusing on like those certain parts and kind of sitting with that and breathing into that, and kind of lessening like the intensity of that before going into a meal. So yeah, those are a couple of the things that I think make my coaching unique.
So what makes me unique as a coach? Well, first of all, I don't come from a background of mental health. I was in the big corporate world of banking actually for many, many years. And I am also in radio behind the scenes. So, but I knew that with my own lived experience and my passion for helping others break free of their eating disorders and find peace and freedom, that I really wanted to do the work. And so coming in with a business background helps me as far as building my practice. So that's a unique piece. Secondly, I'm a Christian. And I say that's unique because I haven't met too many of coaches or therapists that also have the same beliefs. I know they're out there and I have met some, but it's definitely not the majority. There was this one time, I love going out and talking to schools. It's actually one of my most favorite things to do as a coach is speak to high school students and even middle school students. And for a while, I was living in a very conservative area. And I went and met with the director that oversaw all the counselors in the school district. And I wanted to present some ideas I had around talks around body positivity and eating disorder awareness. And I'll never forget what she said to me, ever. She looked at me and said, Sarah, while I love what you want to do, I don't think we can do this in the masses of students because many parents are not going to agree with this mental health issue. Many of them will believe that their son or daughter, if they're struggling, are just not praying enough. Those were her exact words. And it literally broke my heart. So as a Christian, I believe that God has put helpers in our world to help us with our mental battles, which I also believe is a battle of the soul as well. So I've even now taken my work into churches and building out workshops and all kinds of things to reach fellow Christians. And although I work with people of all kinds of different beliefs, I really enjoy reaching that community to let them know, maybe let you know if you fall in the same boat, that it is okay as a Christian to seek help if you are struggling.